Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to Miss Afifah and my fellow friends. So today our group are gonna review about a short story which is written by W. Jacobs, which is called The Monkey's Paw. So the short story is called The Monkey Paws, which is written by W. Jacobs, and the genre of this book, which is gothic, horror, and supernatural fiction. So there are four main characters in this story, which is Mr. White, which is a curious father but a naive one, whose greed and disbelief that led him to a tragedy. So the second character in this story, which is Mrs. White. So Mrs. White is a loving mother who becomes desperate and irrational after her son's death. So for the third one, for the third character in the story is Herbert White, which is the son, a cheerful and playful son of Mr. and Mrs. White. His death fulfills the curse wish, which is the monkey's paw wish. So the last character in this short story, which is Sergeant Major Morris, which is the family friend who introduced the monkey's paw and the warn of its curse. So this story is setting at a small and isolated house which is in rural England on a cold stormy night. So the setting contributes of the dark, eerie, and suspenseful mood of the story. So the symbolism, which is this symbolism of the storm mirrors the chaos and unnatural consequence of tampering with fate.
Okay, so the next one is the story is written in a third person narrative, which means we see everything from an outside point of view. This helps the author describe the scenes with the vivid imaginary. So we can almost feel the tension in the room, hear the knocking at the door, and imagine the feel of the characters' faces. The dialogue also feels realistic, which makes the emotions more believable and pulls up deeper into the suspense. So the tone throughout the story is suspenseful, eerie, and tragic. From the very beginning, there's this unsettling feeling that something bad is going to happen. So the author built that feeling slowly through small hints and description until it reaches a heartbreaking ending. One important technique the author uses is foreshadowing. For example, the line like "he wished for death" subtly warns readers that death will soon play a major role in the story. It creates a sense of dread that lingers as the story unfolds. There's also irony, which is the family wishes for money to make their lives better, but that very wish leads to their son's death. Is a cruel twist of fate that shows how dangerous it is to tamper with destiny. Okay, finally, the monkey's paws itself is a powerful symbol. It represents temptation and fate, the human desire to control life and the consequences that come with it. Through these symbols, the author reminds us that every wish has a cost, and some things are better left untouched. Overall, the style of writing, the tone, and the use of literary technique work together to create a haunting story that stays with readers long after it ends.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. So my name is Muhammad Imam Fikri bin Zairi, and in this part I will continue about themes and moral lesson about the monkey's paw by W. Jacobs. So this story presents several profound themes and moral lessons that remain timeless and universal. So the central theme is fate versus free will, which explores humanity's desire to control destiny. Through Mr. White's decision to use the monkey's paw, despite clear warnings, The story illustrates that some things are not meant to be changed. So the tragic outcome, the death of his son, serves as a reminder that interfering with fate can lead to devastating consequences. So Jacobs suggests that humans must learn to accept what life brings instead of trying to manipulate destiny for personal gain. Another prominent theme is greed and desire. So Mr. White's wish for €200 or £200 symbolize human greed and the constant craving for more than what one already has. So although he received the money, it comes at the cost of his son's life, demonstrating that selfish desires often carry unforeseen consequences. So I think that this story teaches us that chasing material gain without considering moral boundaries can lead to deep regret and also loss. So for the third one, which is the danger of ignoring warnings. So despite Sergeant Major Morris' clear caution about the cursed paw, so the White family dismisses his advice. Why? Because believing it to be mere superstition. So I think this family disbelief and curiosity ultimately lead to their suffering. So this theme highlights the importance of listening to experience and wisdom, and also not letting curiosity blind us to potential dangers. So overall, what I can conclude is Jacobs used elements of horror and irony to deliver moral lessons about human nature, emphasizing gratitude and also humility, and the last one, acceptance of fate. So this story, which is The Monkey's Paw, warns that unchecked desire and the refusal to heed warnings can bring more pain and satisfaction, and also it can teach the readers to be careful of what they wish for, because they might just receive it. So that's all for the point number 5, which is theme and moral lessons for The Monkey's Paw by W.W. Jacobs. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, my name is Mama Iqmal Hakimi. Today I will be sharing my review of The Monkey Paws by W.W. Jacobs. For me, it's a very fascinating short story that blends mystery, horror, and the theme of fate. So, what the introduction for this? No introduction. What? Synopsis. Yeah, so the synopsis of this story is the story revolves around the White family who come into possession of a magical monkey's paw that grants 3 wishes. However, every wish comes with terrible consequence. This story explores the danger of greed and the idea that tampering with fate always leads to the disaster. So I really like how Jacobs built tension to the setting, the cold, stormy night, and the isolated house, grit and eerie mood. So the dialogue feels very realistic and makes the character believable. So what stood out most to me was the message is sometimes getting what you want isn't worth the price. So the story reminds us to appreciate what we already have. So the ending is both tragic and powerful, and it also leaves readers thinking about the cost of desire and the unpredictability of fates. So the conclusion overall, I like The Monkey Paws because it's short but impactful for me. So it shows how curiosity and greed can destroy happiness. If you enjoy suspenseful story with a moral lesson, this one is a worth reading. So that's all my review about The Monkey Paws. So I pass my turn to my friends. Okay, bye.